Let's compare some Cybertruck seat covers. Here we go.
I'm doing a seat cover comparison. This one here on my left, your right, it's made by Foronetry, and I have the one here on my right, made by EVBASE. I'm gonna rate these in 5 different categories, from the look, to how easy it is to install it, to how well they clean up, to how well they pass heat or cool, and that's the big one. And then we're gonna talk about how well the safety airbags are gonna work or not work with these on in your car.
The shipping and packaging was nearly identical to the two. The one below here you see is the EVBASE.
I've been able to partner with both of these companies. So if you'll use my channel name, Charisma, as the promo code, no matter which set of these you choose to get, you'll get a minimum of 20% off everything in your cart when you have these seat covers in. You could get as much as 25 to 28% off if you get this before Thanksgiving and the Black Friday special, which is going on right now. So no matter what time of year it is, use that code and you're gonna get a significant discount.
Here's the white one, just kind of setting in place in the driver's seat. The black ones are just a typical one that we got from either Foronetry or from like a Lecfresh. This white one here is from EVBASE, and I do think they're going to be adding other colors in the future here, but right now I got the white one. I'll tell you right up front, this is not going to be an installation video. If you want help installing yours, go ahead and look down in my description. I did a complete walkthrough of installing the black ones, and I think the installation process is going to be nearly identical. I'll put the link to the video in the very end, and I'll show you exactly how to do it step by step. It's a longer process than probably what you're expecting. I think it took me 3 to 4 hours to put this all together. So make sure you check that at the end, and I think it can help you cut your time down quite a bit. Something I will do in this video is I will be doing a test to see how well the heat and cool still works on the seats. That's the biggest pushback I've gotten. First of all, I think some people's tushies are a little more sensitive than mine, but nonetheless, I'll do a couple creative different temperature tests to see how well the heat works between the black seat, the white seat, and between no seat.
So I went ahead and removed the driver's seat cover and went ahead and installed the white EVBASE onto my driver's seat.
I pointed out that there's quite a few similarities between the two. However, I just found the first real difference is here's my black one, again from the Foronetry. Here's my white one from EVBASE. These are going to be the back center console, the one that kind of lays down, that can become the cup holders, but also sits back to be the back of the seat. So they look most of the same from the front. They'll flip up and they'll flip up. However, the EVBASE one has an additional piece of fabric that is not on the Foronetry one. What this does is it allows it to suck all the way over the armrest, and it still kind of like Velcros in underneath and it holds it a little bit tighter, whereas this one just pushes back into the seat. It seems to fit no matter which way you put it. The black one fit just fine. However, it does bind a little bit. It kind of like crumples together. We try to fold that middle part down to become a cup holder for that back seat. Whereas the EVBASE, the white one here, didn't seem to do that, because I think when it Velcros in here, it really holds it where it's at. It doesn't allow it to move.
For what it's worth, I've seen EVBASE, if they don't have them on the site now, they're going to be coming shortly after. They're going to have different colors. But I like the white because, as you can see, I'm a Foundation Series Cybertruck. I have the white trim everywhere, so I feel like they match. I thought the Foronetry ones matched really well. Getting these new white ones, they also match really well. I'm always personally worried about getting white things that are going to look yellowed or cream, and they really don't. They match very well to the white of the truck. And the EVBASE one has the Cybertruck graffiti insignia put into it. That kind of stands out a little bit to me too, which I think is kind of cool, but really it's ultimately up to what you think. One thing I'll say about the covers is they fit really well. Honestly, really well. Very tight, like Kobe on game night. If you get that reference, make sure you give me a like. Some of the little imperfections or some of the spots where like the vinyl of the seat will bunch up, they're exposed more with the lighter color white than they were with the black. So as my camera kind of zooms in here, you'll kind of see I've got a little bit of extra wrinkling. By the way, some of this is the packaging that it came in, so that'll clean up, and some of those wrinkles do come out. I can tell you from experience from my Foronetry ones, because these had all kinds of wrinkles when I installed them, and I was a little nervous, and they kind of fell out. But this was pretty similar. This isn't bad. Most of this will come out, but it's tight to the seat, but I have a little bit of these gaps. Now, when I went around and looked at the other side, it's still the black Foronetry seat, I had almost the same little wrinkles. I just didn't notice it because they were dark and didn't kind of expose them. Also, some of the gaps in the seats you'll see where the seat covers don't quite cover, you can see through them now with the white seats, and you can see, oh, there's a little bit black in between that you didn't notice before when it's dark.
As promised, one note about airbags. The EVBASE design does have a cutout specifically designed to allow the airbags to poke through a little bit easier. The Foronetry ones also claim to be airbag safe. You just don't see the same cutaway like you do in the EVBASE.
Here's the test you've been waiting for. So I've got a temperature gun, and again, I'm going to go ahead and turn the heated seat on. We'll start with that first, and I'll take the temperatures before, give you a neutral, then I'll deering, and I'll see how they compare. Here we go, test number 1. Initial testing, just turned it on. We're looking at 72 degrees. Now, I was just sitting on it, so that could make it warmer. And I'm 67 here, so we'll see if they're going to get it out. So I've got a little bit of a head start in this one. In the back, Same thing, we're looking at 70 degrees. I don't know if you can see that there in the camera. And then the base here, I'm looking at, again, about 71 degrees. So I've had the seat on now for about 10 minutes, which maybe that's not enough to give it a full heat up, but we're gonna go ahead and test the driver's side first. And again, I haven't been sitting in it now, so it's just the warmth of the seat. So if I test here on the seat, looks like we're gonna be getting a little over 80 degrees, maybe 78 in some spots. And then on the back of the seat, looks like we're getting still lower 70s, but again, like we get a little bit of room here. So when it's pressed tight, I think you'll probably get a little bit warmer. So we're up a few degrees on the seat, or on the back of the seat, but we're up about 10 degrees. Same test here on the passenger side. Again, here's my temperature going down, about 76, 78. Then the back of the seat, we're looking at still again about mid 70s. Now this one's gonna sit just a little bit closer to the back, a bit lower, might be a little bit warmer. We kind of cool off as we go up. Then we got a little hot spot in there. Without doing the control yet, which we'll do next here, what the temperature of the seat is without any cover on it, is it raises the seat about 10 to 15 degrees. So I've removed the passenger seat cover. So right now, this is the basic, the OEM. And by the way, now that I have it off, it just kind of looks simple. It's the first time I've seen it off in 4 months. And I'm reminded that I do have this like gray piping on my seat, which I don't have gray anywhere in my car. Now maybe yours is different than mine. So now that I look at it, it's totally fine. It doesn't match as well though. But anyway, temperature test. So this has been on now again for about 10 minutes, about the same distance as before. So if I go ahead and shoot this temperature gun, looks like we're looking at about 60, 76, 75 in some areas, up to the back part of the seat. Again, in the 70s, 60s, 70s, higher 70s. So I'm getting about the same temperatures. I'm getting peaks in like the low 80s. That's the exact same as when I had the seat covers on. Now, it does seem a little bit more maybe uniform, but then again, when you sit in the seat, you kind of push the cover all down. When you get up, it kind of balances up. So I think that's where you have some maybe heat and cool spots. But does this affect your heated seat? Nah, it really just doesn't, which is good news if you're wanting this. It's bad news if you were just saying you didn't want this because you couldn't afford it.
Now let's briefly talk about cooling the seats, the seat cooling function. What not a lot of people know is most vehicles, including the Cybertruck, don't actually supply cold air. They actually suck air in. There is no seat cover on this seat right now, but I've wrapped it in a plastic bag. In just a minute, I'm gonna give you a close-up and I'm gonna turn on the cool seat and show you how it actually sucks the bag out of the seat. And then what we're gonna do is wrap the EVBASE seat and see how this seat, if it does the same. If it restricts that cooling, I'll see how long it takes, and we'll do a good comparison between no seat cover and this actual seat cover. I've got the seat completely wrapped with the bag. I've tucked it in the bottoms, and I'm gonna go ahead and activate the cooling seat now. So now it's on. We're gonna watch and see how it's gonna suck this bag into the interior of the seat.
You can see it literally just sucking that plastic bag down in tight and just continues to suck. I was actually surprised how much suction this seat offered.
All right, so you can see in this time it took me to walk around the car, we've already sucked into the seat pretty significantly. So it's hard for you to see dimension, but this was standing out probably this far from the seat, and it really sucked it in tight within a matter of seconds. You can see it's actually sucking in. So now what I'm going to do is take this over and wrap the seat with the seat cover and see how do these actually do with the seat cover, and they still suck the same amount. Well, here I am now back on the driver's side, and I've completely wrapped the EVBASE seat cover. What I'm going to do now is turn the cool seat on the driver's seat with the EVBASE seat cover and see if it affects how fast it takes it to suck in this bag, or even if it does it at all. Here we go. Cool seat activated.
Again, you'll notice right away within a few seconds, it starts to suck this clear plastic bag into the seat just as it did the other side.
Okay, so again, in the time it's taken me to walk around the car, you can see it has sucked this bag tight to the seat cover. It's got the tightened end ends. If I had to give a real true fair comparison, I would say it probably has taken a little bit longer for the seat with the seat cover to suck in. That being said, it's now starting to create these same ripples. So I do think this would be a good experiment to give you a good answer of, does the seat cover slow the cooled seat? I could say it potentially would slow it, but it's not cutting it down. It's not going away. In fact, now that I've given it maybe an extra 10, 15, 30 seconds longer, I think it's sucked in just as tight, like it's pinching plastic together in multiple spots. And again, this is kind of a crude experiment. It could be that I don't have it tucked in really tight, the same spots here and there. It absolutely will work, although it is possible it slows the cooling down just a small amount.
One small note about the middle console cover. I'm not using this, and I didn't use it with the Foronetry one either. There's so many different center console covers out there. For example, the one I have is from EVMod. You can see here in the picture, best EVMod. I love it. It fits great. It's got the little logo on it. It's fine. I think they could probably step up their game on this a little bit and make this a little bit more of a wrap. Maybe get a little logo on this. I was kind of expecting the logo to be in this since the logo was so nicely sewn into the seat cover itself. But this, I feel like they could both do better.
Next, I'll be doing a test that's actually pretty important. I'm gonna heavily soil both different seats, at least a swatch of them, and see how easy or how difficult they are to clean up.
First, start with the Kinder's wing sauce. Ooh.
From there, I put on some mustard,
Ketchup, and coffee, because let's be honest, these are gonna be in the truck all the time.
So after I pour the coffee on the white, I'll then move over to the black of the Foronetry, pour that coffee there, as well as all over my dining room table, ketchup, mustard, and of course, a little bit of hot sauce.
Now let all four of these sauces set a little bit. I've had some little help move in from both sides now. Here we go, we're gonna see how it wipes off and how they do, because you're gonna wanna know this.
So I just took a dry, typical household paper towel, went ahead and wiped this off the best I could. After a second, then I move over to the black one. I do the same here. Again, just a dry paper towel from the house. And after wiping both with a washcloth, I can generally say they both cleaned up really well, no problems with either one.
One more thing I want to point out here with the look is the Foronetry black ones just have like the two lines through the middle, front and bottom. Whereas the EVBASE ones, you'll notice here, have the extra little lines and etchings and little pockets. And part of this is going to come down to what you like. Again, these look like a seat cover, but they look like a really nice seat cover. The Foronetry ones look like a better version of the OEM, which are also going to protect your seat from rips, tear stains, things like that. So you want flashy, fancy, the obvious seat cover look, or do you want just a better protected OEM look?
Here's just one more look at the side-by-side comparison. Again, EVBASE in the all-white, the Foronetry in the black and white combo. The front seats, the back seats, and a quick look at the back side of the front seats as they're nearly identical with a flap in each. The biggest difference is the white EVBASE seats are going to definitely look like a seat cover, but they look like a luxury seat cover. If you choose to go with the Foronetry, they're going to look more like they came with the truck, and they have a nice little look, especially if you have that white tint to your truck. They're going to match really well. I would recommend getting either one because they're both going to protect your seats, and getting these seats repaired through Tesla is very expensive and can be time consuming, and the ripping of the seats is not going to be their warranty. So I highly recommend you get some seat covers. No matter which one you do, use my channel name Charisma and get that 20 to 28% off.
Like, subscribe.